Hi there. Lately, I've been having a really hard time discovering new music that I like, and Spotify's algorithm really isn't doing me any favors at the moment. Come on! Don't get me wrong, some of the artists I find really are great, but a lot of what the algorithm suggests isn't really what I'm keen on listening to for the moment. I also get a feeling that a lot of independent artists on the platform don't truly get the support they need. So, I decided to explore some websites that I could use to find new music and support artists in different ways when I'm able to do so. And I'm sharing these because I know there are people out there who could use a little guidance, especially if you're not much of a music nerd. Since discovering these platforms, I've found that they seem to offer a more organic way to find new sounds and artists, and I'm hoping that even the biggest music divas watching this video could benefit in some way. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to start with Billboard. Probably the most well-known source to check out music charts at the moment. The Hot 100 tracks the top US songs weekly, featuring artists already dominating streams and radio, so don't expect any surprises here. It's quite likely that you already know and are actively listening to many of these artists, unless you've been living under a rock, of course. Arrivederci. The Global 200 tab was introduced in 2020, and by navigating there you can find global hits like K-pop or Afrobeats tracks. Again, I wouldn't really call these hidden gems. They're already massive worldwide, but for sake of scouting, it's worth checking out. Their emerging artist spotlight writings are a good spot to hang out for a while. It highlights acts gaining traction at the moment, often those who are TikTok viral or have major label backing. For example, Steve Lacy. He appeared here after Bad Habit went viral. Beyond the charts, Billboard's news section covers industry updates, streaming royalties, lawsuits, and other pop culture nonsense. Some of their tools include a royalty calculator for artists, maybe a bit niche, but useful for those in the industry, I suppose. All in all, Billboard has come a long way from beginning as a print magazine in 1894. Yes, literally that far back in time. And today it remains a snapshot of mainstream success. But I personally wouldn't refer to it as a nifty discovery tool really. It's just good to know that there's a space to check out a more expanded list of what's currently popular. And who knows, maybe you stumble across something you haven't heard of yet. Next up, Pitchfork. The Best New Music tab is always my starting point. They highlight albums with critical acclaim, often before they even hit mainstream playlists. This is a little unlike Billboard's focus on established hits, so at least that makes it a bit different. This site isn't my favorite when it comes to music discovery, but one thing I do appreciate is the genre tags. They're listed above reviews, and most sites tend to bury this detail, forcing you to skim through paragraphs. But here, it's up front, and it saves you time. Clicking the All Best New Albums tab shows that they don't really update daily, but I recommend that you check it out at least weekly. You'll find a curated mix of art rock, ambient stuff, hip-hop, and they have these quirky decimal scores like 7.5 or 8.4. To them it seems like a standout piece of work is about 8 and above, so at least there's a bit of a metric for you in deciding what to click on first. The Sunday Reviews re-examines classics but with fresh analysis. Their essentials lists are kind of like genre primers, so I would say they're perfect for deep dives. An interesting fact that I missed at the time is that Pitchfork was acquired by Condé Nast in 2015. While they've definitely expanded coverage, their indie credibility has been questioned since then. I'm going to be watching closely now because unlike 10 years ago, I am now very much willing to read like the true academic I am. Anyway, Rolling Stone. A cornerstone of music journalism since 1967, obviously. While they cover politics and pop culture, their album reviews focus on established artists. You can expect chart toppers, legacy acts, and occasional indie darlings. It's a lot like Billboard's mainstream approach. What's interesting is their tone in some of their reviews. Even when reviewing a bang-average album, their critiques definitely seem a little measured. You'll see phrases like uneven but ambitious or a step sideways, rather than outright pans. I mean, I think it's diplomatic. Perhaps they're trying to avoid alienating big names or labels. At least that's what I thought before seeing reviews like these. Can you believe that they have the guts to even put these up? Only a very well-established platform could have the courage to be this honest. That's the kind of drama we're dealing with in this page, and if you dig that sort of thing, then this is the place for you. I would say Rolling Stone's strength lies in archival content. Their 500 greatest albums of all time list is a cultural artifact and a great place to start for someone who isn't too familiar with artists outside of their genre of choice. It's also a great topic to have a wild debate over with your friends or enemies. The downside to this site? The news section is heavy on celebrity buzz, which I think distracts from music discovery, but still, for historical context or iconic interviews, Rolling Stone remains unmatched. DMY Magazine, or Do Music Yourself, is a visual and sonic playground. The site's design is truly hip, bold colors, asymmetrical layouts, and it feels a bit like a digital art project, which is pleasant. Click New Music and you're greeted with artists operating far outside the mainstream, unlike Billboard's focus on chart toppers. One thing I noticed that really sets DMY apart is their Submit Music portal. If you click on that, it's a form where any artist can pitch their work, no label, manager, or industry connections needed. This open door policy makes it a hub for raw, unfiltered talent, and I really dig that. Their playlists are equally eclectic. While follower counts are modest, roughly 1 to 5,000 at a time, the curation is thoughtful for sure. No algorithm-driven repeats here from what I can see. Seems to me that this platform is a really good mix of things, while maintaining support for artists who don't have a gigantic following as of yet. I can say that from the amount of time I've been scrolling on the site, I have yet to see a name that I recognize, which is great news for someone who's trying to get away from radio hits and redundant music libraries. In summary, I'm definitely coming back to the site. Gold Flake paint. I would say that this website is where patience pays off. The site's design is stock, no frills, no ads, just a clean feed of text-based reviews. A few givens with this page is that you can find obscure folk, you can find ambient stuff and experimental acts, similar to DMY Mag's offering of lesser known artists. The lack of genre labels forces you to engage deeply. For example, one of the reviews I saw described an album as a foggy walk through a coastal town at dawn. So in other words, we're going to be as vague as possible in describing this track. That was a joke. Comedic gold at no charge, because I like to give back sometimes. Their interviews are equally introspective. Artists discuss everything from creative burnout to the ethics of streaming. It's a humanizing contrast to glossy magazine profiles. Gold Flake Paint began as a poetry zine in 2012, and that literary sensibility still permeates its music coverage from what I can see. And I would say that the site is perfect for listeners who treat albums like novels. Various Small Flames is a UK-based blog for ambient, experimental, and outsider music. The features section houses long-form essays on artists who are unlikely to have cracked a Spotify editorial playlist, echoing the niche focus of the platform. Their interviews steer away from superficial talk. So one dude talks about using broken synthesizers and DIY pedal boards, while another explains how they use bird songs in their tracks. It's really quite incredible. But without making it sound uninteresting or bizarre, they really do have some interesting ones. Other than that, the site's ultra basic layout keeps the focus on the music, much like Gold Flake Paint, offering a relentless spotlight on the unconventional. Aquarium Drunkard thrives on deep cuts and vinyl culture. And their features section unearths forgotten genres like obscure 1970s psychedelia, Japanese city pop reissues, or lost African jazz records, offering a kind of treasure trove for niche enthusiasts. The Transmissions podcast interviews niche artists. The site is full of links to Bandcamp exclusives and limited run cassettes. It's quite literally a goldmine for physical music enthusiasts, but we mere mortals could benefit from this too by simply having a look. I think that the site's retro focus might alienate streaming-only listeners, but for crate diggers, you can consider the site an essential. They also have some super cool merch from what I can see, so why not? The line of Best Fit balances curation with discovery. They tend to highlight artists that are not hugely popular as of yet, offering a discovery angle that is similar to DMY. That said, I have spotted a few acts that are quite big at the moment too. They have entries like a New Music Friday column that groups releases by mood, so you can find types like cathartic guitars, glitchy escapism, and a bunch of others. Some of these are very outdated, but I like the way it's structured. Each entry is constructed in a way that's kind of like, if you like X, try Y type of comparison. This is definitely useful for branching out, similar to Pitchfork's genre tags. They also host the 5-day forecast, previewing upcoming underground tours and tiny venue gigs. Independent and reader funded, the line of best fit avoids clickbait. Unfortunately, their updates can be a bit sporadic compared to ad-driven rivals, but it's not a bad option when trying to find new stuff. Earmilk. Earmilk leans into electronic and indie pop niches. Their grid layout surfaces tracks like B-side gems, polished but not overexposed. The only thing I think is missing with this website is the concept of deep dives. Reviews here are brisk, 300 words max, with bullet-pointed why listen summaries. It's snackable, but don't expect Pitchfork's essay-length analysis. What I would watch out for is their curated playlists. Seems to be some really cool stuff here, and it's a much easier pursuit if you're not keen on reading or don't have time to. Overall, it's a really cool website that's easy to navigate and offers a ton of stuff to check out. I'll definitely be coming back here every now and then. Plain old rate your music, in my opinion, is the anti-algorithm. User-generated charts reveal actual underground trends. Compare this to Billboard's industry-fed data. On here, a Japanese city pop reissue can outrank a Taylor Swift single. And what are the odds of coming across that? For a deep dive, click any album for granular ratings and genre tags. The reviews are absolutely raw and unfiltered, and that for me is a way better indicator than Pitchfork's decimal ratings, even if it is just a bunch of subjective opinions. The website itself feels a bit like a 2005 forum, but for unfiltered takes, this is 100% the place. I do venture through this site as often as I can, and I will certainly be using it in future. StereoFox. I would say that StereoFox is your coffee shop studious friend. The Discover tab floats between jazzy, hip-hop beats and minimalist electronica. Their reviews can also be quite brief, but for the folks with little time, it's a good reference before deciding to press play. I wouldn't say that this website is my favorite per se. If anything, I think finding work-from-home type playlists could be easily done using StereoFox as a source. I'm still working my way through all of its features and things, but decided to add it to this list for the heck of it. Anything helps. AllMusic. AllMusic is currently my favorite platform for music discovery. It offers detailed artist bios, discographies, and insightful album reviews, straight to the point in pretty much every aspect of it. One thing I really like about this site is you can search for songs, artists, albums, labels, and many other things. It feels like a giant encyclopedia in a way. You can search for any artist or album to explore their history and influence. It's perfect for uncovering hidden gems or diving deeper into your favorite music. There's really just so many amazing tools with this site. I'm an absolute music nerd, and so I don't mind having a read through all of the information or taking the time to search for things. But even if someone with not much time on their hands wants to give the site a go, I highly recommend it. With expert reviews and recommendations, AllMusic stands out among all the platforms I've been using. It's a must visit for all music fans. And so, to conclude, that pretty much makes up my take on these music discovery platforms. If you're looking for an escape from the usual algorithm-driven playlists and want something more organic, then these sites are definitely worth your time. Whether you're into big hits or searching for something different, there's plenty to explore. Let me know what you find in the comments, and if you enjoy this kind of content, then please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.